Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolors. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello everyone and welcome back to How to Paint Watercolors with me, Colin. I hope you enjoy this one. It's going to be an evening scene. It's basically one I've made up, run round of the colours for you that I'm going to use for this, which is citrus yellow. You could use Naples yellow if you haven't got that. We have cadmium yellow, Indian yellow, Indian red, burnt umber and French ultramarine. I'll put a bright spot around about here for the citrus yellow. Spread that around, bring it into the mountains. Taking some of the cadmium yellow, just going to drop this in. You don't have to use these colours, you can use the colours that you have. And into that I'm going to take some Indian yellow, slightly getting deeper in colour as we come further away from the sun. We will be putting clouds into this, but it's too wet at the moment. Let's drop some colour into the water. We'll let this dry off for about 10 minutes. Once you've got that on, I'm just going to move some Indian red into the centre there. Bring in a few very faint clouds. Remember, this will dry lighter. Possibly bring some down here. And then I'm going to let this dry off roughly for about 10 minutes. Now that's dried off a bit, I'm going to take some of the Indian red, add some burnt umber to that, and we can hopefully just checking it for spread. I'm going to use a flat brush for this. Where I've got the masking fluid, I need it to be reasonably dark. Add some more burnt umber, some French ultramarine into that as well. Picking out some areas I might want to emphasise some dark and deep night shadow. Always leaving some of the other colour to show. And then I'm going to let that completely dry. Now that's dry, I want to soften the sky in a little bit further. So I'm just going to bring some water over the whole of the sky area, and I want to take some Indian yellow, bring it in across the top, and I'm not going to bring it all the way across the sky. Just want to help soften the clouds. Now that the sky is nice and dry, I'm just taking some clean water. I'm just outlining the background mountains. We're going to do each one of these individually in sets of ranges so they don't all run together. I mean, you can have them running together if you want to, but for this purpose I don't. I'm going to take some of this sky colour. I want to make a bluey grey, relatively quite weak. Just test that for strength. And I'm just running this in along the top. I don't want any detail on these. Maybe just a couple of shadows or quite simply done. Just remove any excess water off the bottom, just allow it to drift down. Make some a little darker just by pulling some of the thicker colour into it. And on the back side of some of this we can add a little bit of shadow as the sun's coming through here. Like I say, you don't want too much. Darkening this side of this one, just give the mountains a little fall. And then you can let that dry. Now that your mountain range is dry, I'm just taking some clean water once again, and I'm just re-wetting the foreground hills. And we're going to take some of the original colour. I'm adding some Indian red to that and some French ultramarine. And we can pick out this little range of hills and mountains here. You can make these reasonably strong. Just allowing that to drip down towards the bottom. This is just colour, I'm just dropping in at the bottom because I'm going to pull it into the water soon. Then I'll just take a little bit of the Indian red on its own, pull some in, just for some variation. Touch more darker colour up here, just to keep your eye in towards the picture. Some clean water, just wetting it, letting it hit the colour, and allow that to come through into the lake. Indian yellow on the bottom here. Just taking all the yellows. Just a touch of that colour with some extra Indian red added. Once again, I'm just dropping a little extra colour in along the bottom, allowing it to drift down. We're just giving the impression of some trees that are growing there. And then we're going to leave that to dry. Now that that's dry, I'm just going to take some more of the same colour, and I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it just to darken that up, and I'm going to add just a tiny bit of cadmium yellow to it just to give it a very dark earthy green colour, maybe a bit darker than that even, almost so you can't tell. And I'm going to come to these trees, and I'm still leaving the masking fluid on. I'm just laying them out to where I want the foliage to be. Then I want to take some clean water, re-wet this little bit of a land area here, leaving the masking fluid on that as well, and a little bit of earthy yellow green to that, just along the top. Once again, really darkening it. Once again, making it darker. I'll just put that there. Almost need like a black. Right along the bottom, I'm just going to drop this in. And also with some clean water, I just want to bring in some reflection. It's quite easy to do, same way as we did the ones around the mountains. Just bring some water up, touch it. Just allow that to drift. You can drop a little bit more colour in just to help it. Then we also just want to wash out this little bit here, just to leave it to fuzz up. We leave that to dry. Okay, everything's dry. Later on in the painting, I would normally put a line, scratch a line in there for the short line, but I don't want to do it on this one because I want the mystery to be left there, where you can't tell where the water ends and the land begins. I've just removed the masking fluid, so I'm now going to drop in some in the white areas, cadmium yellow, which will reflect the light from the sky as it's catching the leaves on these trees. Trying not to disturb the paint underneath. Some along the top here. So just taking some of the dark colour, I'm just going to add this in and allow this to drift up into the yellow. Just where the light would be catching the land. Just catch the bottom of that and just allow it to drift down into the water. Taking some of this colour. I don't want this to be too strong, so let me have a look. I want the trunks to show light. Just take a little of the tree trunks out. Just add a little bit of dark underneath them. And I just want to add a little bit of detail just to the sides of some of these, just to help with the illusion. Just where the tree's a little bit solid, just take a detail brush and just pull some of the branches out. Bring some into the yellow, just knocking a little bit of it down. Just helps to intensify the light, so there's not too much of it. I think that will do it there. One or two blades of grass here, I think. Maybe a couple of birds in the sky. This is where you get to sign it, put a mount around it and frame it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please consider subscribing. Subscribing is free. If you want to see any more videos, then I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.